Hey, how's it going, everybody? Okay, so I know I normally stick to wrestling videos and kind of, sort of, some game videos every now and then. And of course, I'm on Twitch all the time. Um, but I'm also a huge Star Wars fan, if you haven't gotten that from my name. Um, a huge Star Wars fan. I'm actually reading Lost Stars right now and also Lords of the Sith. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I loved The Force Awakens. I'm actually going to be doing a review of the DVD, well, Blu-ray DVD, within the next week or so. Um, but yeah, I love the movie in the theater so much, and I watched 4, 5, and 6 to get ready for that in the span of like a day. So yeah, I was really excited about that. But I wanted to kind of do a little speculation video, because I've something on Reddit leaked a few weeks ago, and I would link it below, but I don't know if it's still up. I don't know if it's been taken down. I don't know if I can get in trouble for that. I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and say spoilers, spoiler heavy, possible spoilers, red flag. Don't watch if you don't want to know. Could be possible spoilers for episode 8. Please don't watch if you don't want to be spoiled. I definitely don't want to rain on anybody's parade. And I would hate to be spoiled too, but I like being spoiled because I'm weird like that. I think a lot of Star Wars fans are. But okay, so I'm gonna get right into it. So this revolves around Rey's parents because J.J. Abrams made reference to the parents were not in episode 7 when he was being interviewed a while back, and it kind of raised some eyebrows because automatically you thought Han, Leia, you thought Luke. Okay, so if it's not any of them, then is it Obi-Wan? Does that make any sense? How would that make any sense? Because of the time difference. Is it going to be somebody completely new that we don't know? Kind of seems like that. But it was really confusing. And they kind of came back and kind of denied that. But do we attribute that to him toying with the fans a little bit, or do we attribute it to that being some truth? I, for one, think it's truth. So I go back to the whole Reddit thing. There was a possible script leak that said, and this is poetry if this is what happens. Basically, it said that Rey and Luke are training, and it's somewhere in episode 8 we see this. And Rey's getting fed up. Rey turns and she's talking about Luke being the father, and Luke goes, "No, you were my father." I saw that and I kind of shit my pants. Um, that's so poetic. Even with how shitty I just said it, that's so poetic. Um, just because of the fact that it's crazy. It's crazy to think about because of the magnitude of what that sentence means. Um, and what that means is basically, because I didn't just tell you what that meant. What that means is basically that Rey is the chosen one. Okay, you're gonna be like, well, wasn't Darth Vader? Yes, exactly. Darth Vader was the chosen one. When the balance of the Force was thrown into a loop, we had Anakin Skywalker come along as the chosen one to bring balance to that Force. Now, of course, along the way, he got corrupted. So what happened? His children picked it up for him. And then we had balance of the Force through the chosen one's children. Now that the balance of the Force again, a la Snoke and who could possibly be Plagueis, who knows, and Kylo Ren, the First Order, have come, the balance of the Force has kind of shifted again, which prompts Rey. And there are kind of a few little subtle hints to this where you can kind of look back at episode 1 and you can kind of pinpoint of when Anakin takes control of the, I guess, I don't, it might have been an X-Wing or Y-Wing, and he just goes and starts blowing shit up like crazy. It could be argued that that was the Force moving through Anakin, doing all those things, projecting him to be great. You can kind of say it kind of awakened in him, even at such a young age. But he was, of course, a chosen one now, and we don't have any backstory on why can't Rey remember anything. So it could be a mind wipe thing. of where her mind was wiped at a young age. Maybe she was experiencing the same thing that Anakin was, and Luke decided to wipe her mind and put barriers up to protect her, and not only her, but everyone else around her. So it's kind of goes back to the episode 1 thing of where you see him doing all of that, and then you can attribute that to Rey. All of a sudden, you see the Force awaken inside of her while she's sitting in the chair being interrogated by Kylo Ren, and all of a sudden it just starts clicking, and it just keeps on clicking and clicking and clicking, and it just grows stronger and stronger until it seems like it can't be contained within her anymore. We see that when they're fighting towards the end of the movie. You kind of see her go on autopilot until like it clicks in, like, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can beat him. And this is somebody who was trained by Luke Skywalker by all accounts, and Kylo Ren. Not only that, but now he's being supposedly trained by somebody who could possibly be Darth Plagueis. And if we don't know the backstory on Darth Plagueis enough to know what he knows, because, you know, canon and non-canon are so different now than they were before. But that's still such a big deal because he was referenced by Palpatine in, was it episode 3, I believe. So yeah, but I mean, there are those similarities of, and of course there's a lot of other nitpicky, you know, itty bitty similarities that you can go by, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to waste y'all's time. But that's also, I mean, it's there, and it's pretty legitimate to say that there could be a chosen one every 50 years or every 40 years, 46 years. Well, I guess if it was Anakin, it would be 60 years, wouldn't it? I'm not sure of the time difference between when Anakin was born and when Rey was born. So I would assume it would be long. It had to be longer than 30 years. I couldn't tell you the time difference. It probably was around 50 years or something around that. So I mean, it could. And of course, this goes to where Disney wants to produce a Star Wars movie every single year for 100 years or something like that. And I'm sure they want to get to the point of where they're doing 2 a year, or a Netflix series, or an online series with somebody else, or just anything online. I'm sure they want to dive into that in some extent. But it makes sense for them to go this route also with different movie plots, different stories, and I mean, seriously, they can jump into any time period. You can go to the Old Republic. You can go 100 years in the future. I don't think they will do that because, you know, we still don't know what's going to happen in the future. I feel like they would go to the Old Republic more and do, you know, a Revan kind of maybe. And I feel like that's where they're kind of taking little inspiration from with this, is Revan with Rey. But, I mean, it makes sense with how they can do movies later on, or just standalone movies or books, to have a chosen one show up whenever the Force is unbalanced again. But the theory is very, very interesting, and it begs a lot of questions just as much as it does with anything else in Star Wars. I mean, it's very controversial, and any theory out there pretty much is. Same thing with Snoke being Plagueis. You can argue for days. I'm pretty sure with this one you can argue for days also, because it could be argued that it's true, and it could be argued that it's false. I, for one, think it's true. I would love for it to be true, just because it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, and it brings legitimacy to the story. It doesn't make Star Wars feel smaller. It makes it feel bigger. Because, okay, well, where does Rey go now that she's not part of any of these family ties? Does she have her own kids? Or does she become corrupt like Darth Vader, like who she was reincarnated from? Who were the other chosen ones? What happened to them? Were they corrupted? Did they actually balance the Force? Does it always go to the next generation? And do they have generations after that? Are there still chosen ones from generations before? I mean, it's a great little key to have to open that door whenever you want to. And I think it would be smart for them to do that. But I'm interested to know what you guys think. Like I said, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I've loved it since I was about 5 years old, and I'm 23 now. But let me know what you guys think below. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share this video if you like. It helps me out a lot when y'all do stuff like that. And, thank you for the overwhelming support so far. I just started doing a lot of YouTube videos lately, and been great support. So I thank y'all so much for that. But yeah, I'm going to have some more Star Wars videos coming out soon. Speculation, book reviews, comic book reviews. I'm pretty much into all of it. I need to get caught up in Rebels. I'm not there yet, so bear with me on that. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching again. I always truly appreciate it, and I appreciate the feedback as always. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.